What's the most frustrating thing you've tolerated in a relationship? I, 30F, am starting to get frustrated with my boyfriend 36M for not taking accountability for his own problems. And honestly, I'm questioning if this is just who he is as a person. When we first started dating 4 years ago, I thought his car was just a temporary situation. He had driven it into the absolute ground, duct tape holding the bumper on, a passenger window that wouldn't roll up, and an inspection sticker so faded and expired I couldn't even make out the year. Turns out it had been expired for 3 years. 3 years. He just kept driving it around like that was totally normal until a cop finally pulled him over and warned him he'd get a ticket next time. I remember thinking, okay, now he'll handle it. But nope. The car just sat in our apartment complex parking lot for an entire year. Not moved, not fixed, just collecting leaves and bird shit. When we moved to our new place, I figured this would be the perfect opportunity for him to either fix it or get rid of it. Instead, he had it towed to our new apartment and it sat there for another year. The whole landlord situation was embarrassing as hell. First time my landlord approached me about it, I was mortified. Here I am trying to be a good tenant, and there's this eyesore of a car that clearly hasn't run in months taking up a parking spot. My boyfriend's response, "It's my car, I can park it wherever I want. Show me where in the lease it says I can't." Like, dude, use some common sense. When winter came and the plow guy couldn't get around it, my landlord was pissed. The car wouldn't even start to move it out of the way. The final straw was when my landlord flat out told me he wouldn't renew our lease if the car wasn't gone. That's when I realized I was going to have to handle this myself if I wanted to keep our apartment. So in January, I spent my Saturday morning at AutoZone buying a battery, watched 3 different YouTube videos on how to install it, and somehow managed to get that piece of junk running long enough to have it towed to a storage unit. The whole time my boyfriend was inside playing video games. 7 months and $1,400 later, it's still sitting there. Every month when I get that automatic payment notification, I want to scream. Last month, I finally lost it and told him exactly how I felt. I laid it all out, how unattractive his lack of initiative was, how I felt like he just dumped his problem on me and walked away. He sat there nodding like he understood, but when I asked what his plan was, he just shrugged and said he'd figure something out. That was a month ago. Today, I got another $200 charge. Meanwhile, he's been using my 2019 Corolla like it's his personal vehicle. Every morning when his kids were still in school, he'd take my car to drive them. Don't get me wrong, I love his kids and want to help, but it stings when he can't be bothered to maintain his own transportation. He puts gas in it sometimes, which I guess is something, but he's basically treating my car like it belongs to both of us while his car rots in storage on my dime. The worst part is the anxiety I feel every time he drives off in my car. I worked my A off to pay that thing off early. It was such a huge accomplishment for me. Now I'm terrified that if he gets in an accident, I'm screwed. My insurance, my problem, my financial responsibility. I've also become quite the mechanic apparently. Besides the battery, I've replaced the spark plugs, installed a new alternator, and spent countless hours trying to diagnose why the damn thing still won't pass inspection. All while he watched Netflix. I got maybe a thanks babe, and that was it. I know the conversation I need to have is going to be brutal, but I can't keep living like this. His kids might be disappointed they can't see him every day, but that's not my responsibility to solve. I'm seriously considering just having his car towed to his mother's driveway and letting them deal with it. At least then it won't be costing me $200 every month while he pretends it doesn't exist.